In today's episode, we're diving deep into one of the most unexpected, star-powered political encounters of the year. The moment global pop superstar Katy Perry and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau met with Japan's former Prime Minister. Now, at first glance, this sounds like a quick headline, something you scroll past and keep moving. But no, this meeting was layered, strategic, surprising, and honestly, way more fascinating than anyone expected. And trust me, by the end of this deep dive, you're going to realize this wasn't just a polite diplomatic moment. This was a crossover of music, politics, influence, global relationships, future projects, and quiet power plays, all hidden underneath what looked like a simple photo op. So let's unpack everything that happened, what it means, and why this story is gaining so much traction. Katy Perry, who has long used her platform for activism and global humanitarian work, traveled to Japan not just as a celebrity, but as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, someone who is deeply involved in children's welfare, education, and international aid. While she's known to the public as a chart-topping pop icon, behind the scenes, she's been steadily building her reputation as a serious global influencer with political access most musicians never achieve. This wasn't just a singer meeting a politician. This was a global figure meeting another global figure. And what made this meeting even more interesting was the presence of Justin Trudeau, a world leader who has embraced progressive policies and maintained close relationships with countries across Asia. Him being there wasn't just coincidence, it was strategic positioning for all parties involved. What many people don't realize is that Japan has recently been increasing its ties to both entertainment industry leaders and Western political figures as part of larger cultural diplomacy efforts. So when Katy Perry and Trudeau made their appearance, it symbolized a growing, modernized relationship between entertainment, politics, and international cooperation. Pictures from the meeting show them smiling, sharing conversations, and exchanging gifts, but those photos only tell a fraction of the story. Behind closed doors, conversations reportedly centered on tourism growth, cross-cultural music exchanges, youth empowerment initiatives, and future humanitarian collaborations. Katy, who has performed in Japan multiple times and has a huge Japanese fan base, has been vocal about her admiration of Japanese culture, so her involvement adds a layer of authenticity that Japan's diplomatic community appreciates. And let's talk about Justin Trudeau for a minute, because his presence shifted the energy of the entire meeting. Trudeau has been navigating a complicated political climate back home, and international engagements like this help reinforce his image as a globally respected leader. Standing beside Katy Perry, someone who transcends borders and reaches millions, added a sense of modern, relatable diplomacy that traditional political communication lacks. Trudeau has always leaned into youth-oriented, pop culture-friendly public relations. It's the same strategy that helped him gain global popularity early in his leadership. Being photographed alongside one of America's biggest pop stars not only boosts Japan's tourism messaging, but boosts Trudeau's global image as well. But the biggest question people had online was this: why this meeting? Why now? Why these three people? And that's where this story becomes a lot more strategic. Sources close to the event reported discussions around international collaboration regarding children's welfare, global education, and mental health support for young people, topics Katy has been passionate about for years. Japan has been working on major initiatives to strengthen support systems for youth, especially after global events in recent years increased mental health awareness. Bringing in Katy Perry, someone who has a massive platform and a reputation for being outspoken about self-love, emotional well-being, and philanthropic efforts, wasn't accidental. It was intentional. And then there's the behind-the-scenes significance. Japan sees value in aligning with Western celebrities who have strong global reach, especially celebrities who have ties to major international organizations like UNICEF. Katy Perry fits that perfectly. Meanwhile, Justin Trudeau's involvement signals Canada's long-term diplomatic interest in Japan's political and economic landscape. This wasn't a casual sit-down. This was a moment choreographed by three different power entities with overlapping interests: entertainment, diplomacy, and humanitarian leadership. Online reactions were mixed, but mostly fascinated. Some fans were excited to see Katy in such a powerful political environment, praising her for using her fame for something meaningful. Others joked about the unusual trio, a pop star, a prime minister, former prime minister walking into a room. Sounds like the beginning of a comedy sketch, right? But beneath the memes, social media analysts pointed out something deeper. This meeting reflects a growing trend of celebrities stepping into political spaces more intentionally than ever before. Not as activists tweeting from home, but as actual influencers capable of shaping global conversations. What also stood out was the energy between Katy and Trudeau. Friendly, respectful, and clearly familiar. They've crossed paths before at multiple global events, and sources say they share mutual respect for each other's humanitarian work. That familiarity made the entire moment feel more natural and less staged. And for Japan's former PM, having two Western figures who appeal to both political leaders and young audiences made the meeting symbolically valuable. As the meeting wrapped, the three posed for several official photos, shared discussions with their entourages, and reportedly exchanged thoughts on future collaborative opportunities. Katy Perry even took a moment to acknowledge Japan's resilience, creativity, and global influence, emphasizing how deeply connected she feels to the culture. Moments like that are exactly what Japan values. Authentic appreciation, not forced diplomacy. Now, zooming out, what does all of this mean? In a world where celebrity culture and politics are merging more every year, meetings like this represent a new chapter of global influence. Katy Perry isn't just performing on stage, she's entering rooms once reserved for diplomats and heads of state. Justin Trudeau is not just shaking hands, he's aligning himself with the global entertainment world. And Japan isn't just hosting foreign guests, it's leveraging culture and soft power in a way that strengthens international relationships in both traditional and modern ways. This encounter tells us that the future of diplomacy is changing. The people who will influence politics, culture, humanitarian efforts, and global discussions will come from a wide variety of backgrounds, not just governments, but entertainment, technology, activism, and beyond. And this meeting between Katy Perry, Justin Trudeau, and Japan's former prime minister was a perfect example of that shift in real time. So whether you saw this story as political, inspirational, surprising, or just a fascinating celebrity moment, there's no denying it. This was a power meeting. A meeting that blended star power with political influence and global cooperation. A meeting that showcased how interconnected our world has become. And a meeting that, honestly, has way more layers than anyone expected.